How much of our lives we spend pleasing, trying to push ourselves and form into these rigid structures, and sometimes water is the only reminder I need that aren't we more fluid than we think? Where can we soften, and why have we come so far from our truest nature, which is nature, in order to fit into these harsh regimes and societal structures that only seek to constrain and limit our potential, when our potential is limitless? We are love. We are water. We have become conditioned to detach from our truest selves. The art of surrender, the art of letting go, the art of simply being has been lost. We have gone from human beings to human doings. And it's sad, really, that in a span of years we've managed to lose touch with our truest selves, and this over-reliance on validation, technology, and all these other means of affirming ourselves externally have dismantled what our truest nature is, which is to be our own nurturers. And the art of surrendering is, for me, one of the hardest things I've had to sit with and come to terms with. It's this idea that for so long we have boxed ourselves in and managed to keep it all intact, if you will, and acted like we had it all figured out. And even the clouds remind us that sometimes the release, the letting go, the shower, the storm is necessary. I recently heard someone say that when you're looking at a stream as it's rushing through the ravine, you are never seeing the same part of that stream flowing through. It is always changing. It is always letting itself move fluidly. And we are something like 70% water. And yet we have this idea in our minds that we are separate from the world, that our minds are somehow our own entities, and that we are so siloed, when the reality is we are a web, a Venn diagram, if you will. We are all sharing the same breath in different forms. And when we can lean into that and realize that the only thing we have control over is our thoughts, which shape our reality. And if our thoughts are creating this universe where you are your own universe, what would it mean to be a little kinder to ourselves? I recently had a beautiful conversation with a cherished friend and poet, and the topic of softness and surrender surfaced. And I thought it's such a beautiful time to tap into that softness in a world that is so harsh and ruled by logic and rationale. We've lost touch with our intuition, and our sense of selves has been overridden. And I think for a lot of us, it's just a matter of doing what needs to get done, but that idea of intentionality has been erased. And the beautiful quote by Rumi talking about balance is finding that midpoint between holding on and letting go. And I know for certain we all have things right now that we are holding, and things we do need to let go of. And they're the reason we have this agency, this mobility, the ability to release and grab and remember and re-remember and unlearn is because so much of this experience is what you make of it. Anybody can tell you how to live, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, things you should add into your diet, things you should stop doing, like scrolling on social media. But you are the artist, you are the author. And what would it mean to transcend these notions of rigidity and really just soften? And for some people, the softening can come in the most unexpected of ways. I recently started reading this beautiful book called 5 Regrets of the Dying, and I'm just so struck right now by this idea that people in their final moments of palliative care are coming to these realizations at the end of their life of things that they wish they had done differently. And I will not divulge the regrets because I truly believe people should read this book if it calls out to you. But I will say it's mesmerizing how much of our lives we spend to be someone we aren't, and to put on this armor, almost like we're fighting a battle every single day. And for most of us, this can be true, this can feel valid, that we are fighting an internal war waging on ourselves. But what would it mean to let even just a fragment of that go today? To just soften a little bit more, to listen instead of keeping our ears turned out, to turn them inwards on themselves and listen to what that inner you is trying to say, because it's there. Whether or not you've tapped into it, listened to them, they are there, and they will not leave you as long as you do not leave them. So today I encourage you to find a moment of surrender and really, really anchor into that place of balance, as Rumi said, and that midpoint. And it won't always be perfect. We are not symmetrical, idealistic beings. We are complex, we are nuanced, but we can try. We can wake up and we can use these hours of the day to make something, to unmake something, and to be, because we are human beings, not human doings. So I wish you a moment of surrender, whether it be in this video, in the rest of your day, week, life, and I send you serenity. And may waves and warm currents of peace wash over you, because you are so deserving as you are, simply for being you.